Thanks everyone for joining. I can see that numbers are still moving up and there's still people joining us, but I suggest we probably kick things off. So I will pass over to Grainne, the Giving Tuesday team, to get the event started.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Phil. Afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our Giving Tuesday webinar. First off, let me thank Porter Novelli for hosting this webinar for us. And thanks also to Alex and Michael, our panelists, for taking the time out of your busy days to talk about your experience of the campaign and how to get the most out of it. The shared learning aspect of Giving Tuesday is so valuable to our partners. And finally, thanks to all of you, our attendees, for joining us to hear all about Giving Tuesday and our new fundraising initiative, Give Back 2020. I hope that you leave here today feeling enthusiastic and energised about getting involved this year. So for those who don't know me, as Phil said, my name is Grainne Mathews and I lead Giving Tuesday here in the UK on behalf of the Charities Aid Foundation, and I'm really delighted to be here to talk to you all. Next slide, please. Oh, and next one. Thank you. So most of you probably know the story by now. It started from a simple idea. Black Friday and Cyber Monday were so hugely popular that the team in the US thought, what about adding Giving Tuesday? Could you add a day that reversed the trend? After all this consumerism, create a day where people would give back. It was quite unique in that it was actually designed from the start to encourage people to take it somewhere new and do something with it. And that's exactly what CAF did here in the UK in 2014. We had been watching with anticipation to see how Giving Tuesday would take off in the States. CAF's mission is to motivate people to give, and Giving Tuesday really aligns perfectly with that. So this year will be the UK's 7th Giving Tuesday. It now runs officially in over 70 countries. In the UK alone, we have over 3,500 partners. This ranges from large national organisations such as Cancer Research, the Woodland Trust, NatWest Group, Salesforce, Samsung, right through to tiny organisations such as Tiny Tickers and Remus Horse Sanctuary, who have maybe 1 or 2 paid members of staff and the rest are volunteers. Last year, we raised over 14.2 million was donated on Giving Tuesday via Visa cards alone. This represents a 48% increase in donations on the day compared to an average Tuesday in 2019. And this stat is actually really important in assessing the impact of Giving Tuesday. Obviously, we know that people make donations every day, but we now know that Giving Tuesday is supporting and encouraging additional donations, which really is the point. But of course, Giving Tuesday isn't just about fundraising. It's not Fundraising Tuesday. We want to encourage and celebrate all the different ways that people support good causes. And this can involve campaigning for something, so lending your voice, sharing your skills, which right now can be vitally important as charities also face making staff redundant due to the economic impact of the pandemic, or volunteering your time. You can also share your charity's message with your family, friends and networks. Your reach means that a charity gets their ask in front of someone new, someone who may be able and willing to help. So what can you do to get involved in Giving Tuesday? It really is up to you. Giving Tuesday is completely non-prescriptive. It is there to support you, your organisation and your generosity. But of course, we know that partners like a few suggestions to get their creative juices flowing. So you will obviously hear from Michael and Alex about how their organisations got involved in the campaign. And I don't want to preempt anything that they will say, but here are a few ways in which partners have used Giving Tuesday. Fundraising, pure and simple. Awareness raising of a charity's organisation or their services. Business use it to engage their staff in payroll giving, which is a great start to an employee's generosity journey. Charities have used today to say thank you to their donors for their support throughout the rest of the year. And businesses have also used Giving Tuesday to engage their customers, to demonstrate how they give back and to really bring their brand values to life. So what makes a successful Giving Tuesday? So the following information comes from feedback from our partners on what worked for them and what didn't. The most important thing seems to be to plan. So set an objective and set a strategy. Obviously, the nature of Giving Tuesday means that you can get involved by only scheduling a few social media posts, but that doesn't really seem to bring success. Those partners who take some time to think about what would work best for them and really integrate it into their organisation seem to have the biggest success. Create a campaign timeline, so this would follow on from planning. Create a timeline so you know what you're going to do and when and who is responsible. It will be a real help, especially around delegating tasks, and also so that Giving Tuesday doesn't feel overwhelming and that everyone can actually get involved. Engage with your stakeholders in advance. So start your Giving Tuesday communications a few weeks or even a month before the day, depending on what you want your supporters, your donors, customers or employees to do. We know that this time was already crowded, so you want to make sure that your message is getting through and sticking. And go out to your networks. So this can be your board, your volunteers, corporate partners, staff, customers, or celebrity ambassadors. Ask for their support and give them different options for involvement. It could be match funding, sharing your social media messaging on the day, or simply making a donation and posting about it on their own social media accounts. It really does all add up. And personalise your ask. Ask for something that is possible for your different stakeholders, and really tailor your messaging. And connect to your cause. So share the impact of your organisation. Case studies and beneficiary stories are incredibly powerful at bringing your work to life. Have fun. Giving Tuesday is a really positive day. Share good news and have fun with your social media posts. And then afterwards, remember to say thank you to your supporters, especially the day after. And then ongoing, share your impact. What were you able to do because of Giving Tuesday? Keep your donors or your customers and employees updated so they can see the benefit of supporting it again. Next slide, please. So how can we support you? Giving Tuesday, signing up as a partner to Giving Tuesday is completely free and always will be. The cost involved in leading the campaign for charities in the UK is covered by CAF as part of its charitable mission. On the website, we have lots of resources that are free to download, and these include social media toolkits for businesses, for charities and for individuals. We have template press releases to share how you're getting involved on the day, and we have tailored social media assets. So depending on whether you are a charity, business or individual, we've got something that will help support your messaging. And again, these are all free to use and download. You're welcome to change the colour, add your own logo, whatever you want. We're really not precious over what we have. We just want to create assets and toolkits and resources that will help and support you. Obviously, these are free to anybody. They're on the website. So as an official partner, you will also get official partner logos and an exclusive partner guide that includes a campaign plan, template emails and information to help you talk about Giving Tuesday with your networks. We also have Stories of Giving Tuesday, which is our collection of shared partner stories, what they did on Giving Tuesday, how they did it, and what they achieved. And as I said earlier, this shared learning aspect from others in the sector is so important, and it's really one of the most valuable things that we do, that we provide as part of leading the campaign. And I'm also very excited to tell you about Give Back 2020. So this is our fundraising initiative, which is brand new this year. And we hope it will help people fundraise for their favourite charity and help you engage your supporters or your employees in a clear, easy and fun way that will help them and you to give back. It's really straightforward and easy. It will help you support your charities on Giving Tuesday. Obviously, charities right across the country have given so much this year, and we really feel that now is the time for people to give back and make a difference and take something positive from a year that has been very difficult and tough for many of us. Recent research from the Chartered Institute of Fundraising and Pro Bono Economics estimates that there will be a 10 billion funding gap for charities in the UK. And this is all against the backdrop of reduced capacity and increased demand for services. So we really recognise that there is a need in the sector, and that's why we have created Give Back 2020 this year. We really want to get as many people as possible involved in Give 2020. So charities and organisations like you can get the support you so desperately need, and also give back to those who have supported our communities throughout this year. The idea is we all have something to give back, and so we need you to encourage your supporters to think of what they have and how they can use that. It can be as simple as asking people who have been working from home to give back the cost of a week's commute, or you suggest that they take some of the baking skills that they have mastered over lockdown and bake and sell mince pies to their family and friends and raise money for a cause that they really care about. They can also give back in lots of different ways while doing their Christmas shopping. So many stores and online platforms offer ways to donate. It's really just about engaging your audience and giving them a fun and easy way to give back. Well, that's all from me. Now on to the exciting part, our partners. I'm very pleased to introduce Michael Duncan, Head of Giving Strategy and Programmes, Sustainable Banking at the NatWest Group. The NatWest Group is a Giving Tuesday UK founding partner, meaning they have been there right from the start, supporting the campaign and charities and encouraging their employees and customers to get involved and give generously on Giving Tuesday. The NatWest Group really lives the ethos of Giving Tuesday, and I can't wait for you to hear from Michael.
Thanks very much, Grainne, and I hope I don't disappoint you after that wonderful introduction there. At NatWest Group, we do love the global phenomenon that is Giving Tuesday. As Grainne says, we've been involved since the very start, and we've tried to build year on year on what we do to engage our employees, our customers, and the charities that we work with. And hopefully it'll be helpful for you as we share some of the things that we've done over the years and are planning to do again this year. I couldn't overemphasize what Grainne was saying there around planning, and it is important to not just wait until the last minute and having a good plan in place, because it does involve lots of engagement. And at NatWest Group, it's a real team effort. We're using folk across many different parts of our business, folk in internal comms, in our external social media teams, in our business products teams, across the sustainable banking team. There are just masses of people involved, and just to bring them together is important to have that good plan in place. But the wonderful thing about Giving Tuesday is that people get it. They get why it's important around that time of running up to Christmas and after the Black Friday, Cyber Monday, to talk about something good. And that's why we just love it, because it's a great opportunity to talk about good at a wonderful time of year. And this year, more important than ever, with the challenges that all sectors have been facing, but not least the charity sector, as we've had to confront the pandemic during the year. So as I say, hopefully what I'll share just now will be helpful to you in helping us understand the kind of things that we do. And as Grainne talked about, we focus in three broad strands of activity. The first one is around our colleagues, the next one's around our customers, and the next one is around the charity. So we can move to the first slide, which is about how we engage our colleagues. What we're trying to do in Giving Tuesday is create a real buzz around the organisation. We're trying to get a bit of excitement around giving and doing good and supporting our communities and supporting our charities. So that involves lots of internal comms, it involves intranet news stories, it involves posting on our social media platform, banners around the organisation, desktop takeover where we have logos on people's desktops, all sorts of things just to create a bit of a buzz, raise the profile of Giving Tuesday and everything that goes with it. So a lot of what we do in Giving Tuesday is about simply trying to amplify what we do all throughout the year. Our colleagues have the opportunity to volunteer all year, but we talk about it on Giving Tuesday. We give our opportunities the space to talk about what they've done or pledge to do something more. We've used the unselfie in the past as a way of people posting on social media, this is what I've done during the year, with the picture of the selfie and the picture of themselves and posting that on social media. As I say, creating a buzz, creating that kind of internal viral activity that gets people excited about it. We also want people to use their voices on Giving Tuesday to talk about what they're passionate about and what they care about. And again, we use these platforms, internal platforms, to allow them to do that. But one thing we do very specifically in Giving Tuesday is that we strongly promote our payroll giving scheme. We believe that payroll giving is a fantastic way for companies and employees to support charities. It gives them that ongoing stream of income. So we promote that very strongly in Giving Tuesday. And throughout the month of December, if somebody sets up payroll giving for the first time or increases the payroll giving at NatWest, we will give them a £125, what we call a charity boost, into their giving account, which then they can donate to a charity of their choice. So, we've made that decision to commit some of our community investment spend to promoting payroll giving and hanging that from Giving Tuesday. So, fantastic way to engage your employees and to encourage them to do even more on Giving Tuesday. But our employees are very passionate about supporting our communities, and our approach is to encourage them to support those charities and causes they care about, and we really sort of focus in on that on Giving Tuesday itself. So employees are a huge part of Giving Tuesday, and we love it when they engage with it and share the wonderful things they've been doing. We can move on to the next slide, thanks. The next group that we work with is our customers. And as a bank, we have a responsibility to help our customers make good financial decisions. And I believe strongly part of that is helping them understand that it's important to consider charitable giving as part of their overall spending and giving. And so we do want to talk to our customers about Giving Tuesday. And so on Giving Tuesday, we do specifically do posts on our social media platforms that are speaking to our customers. But the biggest thing we do in Giving Tuesday is linked to one of our rewards products. So some of our customers have accounts that generate income as they spend money, and that goes into pot of money. And one option they have with that pot of money is to donate that to charity. So what we do in Giving Tuesday is we do comms directly out to millions of customers, and we ask them to donate, and then we match that donation up to £50. And what we've seen in Giving Tuesday is that the level of giving from rewards accounts just goes through the roof on Giving Tuesday. People buy into it, they get engaged in it, and are excited to take part. So we're helping our customers give and take part in the whole Giving Tuesday event as well. So our customers are an important part of Giving Tuesday, and we want to share that with them as well. And then if we can move on to the next slide, please. We want to talk with our charities and share with our charities as well. We have several hundred charities, actually, that we talk to regularly. We don't necessarily have a formal partnership with them, but we do want to maintain a relationship with them, and we want to be able to share information with them, and we want them to be able to share information with our colleagues. So we have this sort of dialogue with them. And then Giving Tuesday in particular, we have the fantastic opportunity to enter into, it's kind of like a tweet fest, where we will have a series of tweets that are going out from the NatWest Group Twitter account, and our colleagues will be, our charities will also be tweeting, and then we go into super tweet and retweet mode. You can tell I'm not an expert on tweeting from the way I'm talking, but other people fortunately know more about it than I do. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to get some brilliant content from our charities about what our colleagues have been doing, so that we can then promote them and say thank you to our colleagues, and to say thank you to the charities for the amazing work that they've been doing. So we've got that sort of that whole part of our campaign, which is simply about communicating the fantastic things that we've been doing with our charities, and as I say, we tweet that out throughout Giving Tuesday. It's simply a fantastic platform in order to talk about good, and it's wonderful in Giving Tuesday that we swamp Twitter with these good news stories, and it's lovely to see when Giving Tuesday is trending. I'm talking the right language there, trending highly in Twitter, and we're seeing that lots of people are engaged with it. So that's what we do with our charities as well. If we can move on to that final slide, there'll be an opportunity to obviously ask questions later. But if you want to engage with the NatWest Group, you're very welcome to drop us a line, sustainable.banking@rbs.com, if you're a charity and you want to engage with us and share content with us. By all means, drop an email to that email address, and we'll talk to you. We're very keen to do that. But as I say, we love Giving Tuesday. Fantastic opportunity every year to talk about good and to encourage our customers and our colleagues to do that as well. So thanks very much, Grainne, and on.
Thank you so much, Matt. That was really informative. And yeah, I absolutely love hearing about all the different ways a business can get involved. Giving Tuesday really is a campaign for everybody. Now I would like to invite Alex Wallace, founder and managing director of Mintridge Foundation, to share her story. Mintridge is a charity dedicated to enhancing life skills in young people through sport and providing a support network for young people by harnessing the power of positive sporting role models. And an interesting fact, Alex won the 2018 Sunday Times Sportswoman of the Year in the grassroots category for her work with Mintridge. So, Alex.
Oh, thank you very much for that very kind introduction. You've just stolen the first part of my presentation, so we can move straight on. But thank you so much for inviting me here today. I'm really excited to share the successes that we've currently experienced and what we're hoping for this year for Giving Tuesday as well at our really small charity. So as Grainne said, we are the Mintridge Foundation. And we harness the power of positive sporting role models. So we have a team of Olympians and Paralympians and other professional sports stars that deliver mentoring programs in schools and sports clubs across the whole of the UK to help improve physical and mental well-being. So I think it's very poignant at the moment that we are very much needed with post-lockdown for young people, and we're just really trying to engage and support schools and young people in the ways that we can in a safe environment. And that is why something like Giving Tuesday is really important to us and how we succeed. So if I could just move on to the next slide, please. Thank you. So we're a really new charity. We gained charitable status back in April of 2018, so we're really young. And I became aware of Giving Tuesday. I was invited to the launch at Porter Novelli last year, and I was incredibly inspired by the work of Tiny Tickers, also a small charity, and the success that they'd had with Giving Tuesday the previous year. And it just got me really engaged with how we can build this momentum around this national and international success story about engaging our supporters and support team. I think the three key elements to why I think it is so important for charities, and the first one is it gives me a reason to ask businesses and individuals for support. I'm conscious that I'm always going out saying, come and help us as a charity, but this was a definitive reason, and the businesses and individuals can see that they're part of something much bigger. And the second one, I think there's mutual benefit to both businesses and charities, or individuals and charities. If you're jointly proactive and engaging in your efforts, then everyone's objectives are met. There doesn't have to be a risk to the business financially, and I'll go on to explain a bit about how we hope to achieve that shortly. But I think as well for us, we have a very niche support team and beneficiaries and young people and a sports network. But actually Giving Tuesday allowed us and still allows us to branch out beyond that and engage new supporters outside of our norm really, and use our entire network. At the same time, linking in really well with the lead up to Christmas and the positivity that's needed. And next slide, please. Thank you. So a little bit about last year, and we started on a very small scale with the hopes that we could then replicate something on a local scale in different towns and different cities across the UK this year. But we've had to, for obvious reasons, change how we work. And we started with a drinks reception at a local startup boutique. So the benefit to us of that was that we engaged with them, we promoted the boutique itself to our supporters and engaged people to go to the shop as well. And they donated a percentage of their sales throughout the whole of the day to the charity, which was great. It also gave us an opportunity for a new platform for one of our Olympic ambassadors to showcase the charity story in a new venue and something that we didn't have access to ourselves. It allowed us to engage multiple shops around the area and other local businesses. And the great news is, which I'll explain more about shortly, is that we partnered with Work for Good, who doubled our donations throughout the day, which was a brilliant incentive for both the business and the charity. And as I said, it really gave a local focus that we could then replicate in years to come. Start small, and then the ambition was to grow it. And it also gave new awareness of the charity, again, as I mentioned in the previous slide, of people that wouldn't necessarily have been aware of what we do previously, but because of the local media exposure, the Facebook advertising, social media advertising from what we were trying to achieve, that enabled us to gather new supporters that have since supported us in the longer term and continue to do so to this day, which is incredible. So we raised £800 for that one event, which was fantastic, but we have lots of other things going on in the background as well. Could I have the next slide, please? Thank you. So as I said, I was really keen that when I was approaching the business about the event and the idea that we had of hosting a drinks reception, I really wanted the business to know that we weren't just take. It was very much we can help each other. This particular boutique was a startup as well, so they were looking to create awareness of their amazing shop, as well as gaining new customers. So the media exposure, particularly that we could bring in with our Olympic ambassador, was huge. And I appreciate that not every small charity has access to celebrity ambassadors, but we were using the resources that we had to help and support the business as well. They then had new customers that weren't aware of the shop, and they were also able to engage with other local businesses that would then help them in the long term, far beyond when we'd left. So there was definitely a win-win for everyone, and something that they were looking to do with us again this year. But for obvious reasons with COVID, we've had to put a stop to that this year, but we will be looking at it for future events. So yeah, it was a really positive, exciting day, and just love to be able to share business and charity objectives. Cut the next slide, please. So working with Stamford, my idea was to take over the whole of the town, which didn't quite happen, but we would hope that is something that we can achieve with more planning in future years. We managed to engage a local wine bar, again encouraging customers from the Iris and Violet event to then go on to them, and there were discount codes that would then become donations for us as the charity later on, equally with a local deli for some food as well throughout the day. So again, I hope we're sort of showcasing the back and forth and the win-win for everybody, for both businesses and charities. Next slide, please. And so we used the day to launch exciting and ongoing partnerships that could all take place online, which is something that we've taken to use for this year as well. So we had, again, focusing a lot on retail and the Christmas shopping element of what everyone starts to think about on the 1st of December. But we had local businesses that wanted to support us, that were offering donations with some of the purchases that they were making. So we had a men's shoe line, we had a local author who had written a book, and we work with an organisation called Mood Beam, which is a wearable device to track mood. So again, it was a great way to launch all of these exciting partnerships, and it really built the momentum around it. Rather than launching on random individual days, there just seemed to be a really big focus that we could all focus on together that would attract attention from lots of different avenues. And again, it was brilliant because our partnership with Work for Good, we were able to pass the businesses through to them, and they could make the donations there in a really simple way. And we were lucky that they were doubling their donations throughout December as well. So that enabled us to increase what we were doing. So that was a really successful 2019, which got us really excited to move into 2020. Next slide, please. Thank you. So when obviously the world turned a little topsy-turvy earlier in the year, it was great that Giving Tuesday just didn't sit back. There was a new opportunity with Giving Tuesday now. But I think a lot of charities probably in a similar position they knew that businesses were also in a tough position during lockdown and the COVID crisis. So to actually then go out and ask for more didn't seem right. I wanted to be able to create a sense of community and that we were all in this together. So for us, it was using Giving Tuesday now for exposure and gratitude, really, of those that had helped us, got together throughout the start of the pandemic, but also in the lead up as well. So we decided to launch 12 hours of gratitude throughout the day, and each hour on the hour for 12 hours, we thanked, we shared some of our partners, which in turn got increased exposure for both parties, as well as some donations as well. We also used this opportunity to thank fundraisers and volunteers, and just showcase what we can do as a charity, which was amazing. So we celebrated about £4,000 worth throughout the day, some fundraising that had taken place since the start of the pandemic. And we were able to launch an auction and a raffle, which again was very small scale, but to us it wasn't really about the fundraising on that day. It was much more about what else we were trying to showcase at the charity and for our partners. So I definitely recommend that as something for charities to look at if they're thinking of doing something for this December as well. Next slide, please. So we've now come on to the planning of the Giving Tuesday for this December. And as Grainne said, planning is key, and we've really started to think about this much earlier, learning from the successes and what we wanted to improve on from last year. So looking at the Give Back pledges that Giving Tuesday have created and Work for Good Small Business Star, we took these ideas and thought, how can we really engage that and engage our partners and potentially new partners as well? Again, to showcase that we are all in this together. We're not just ask at the charity, and we want to support the businesses that have really helped us through this difficult time. So we've thought of ways of how can businesses, how can individuals give that's not just fundraising. There's lots of different ways that the Give Back pledge means, which is, as Grainne explained earlier. And therefore, we have created Mintridge Advent Calendar. I would love to say that I designed that, but the graphics are not my forte, and we leave that to the wonderful Patrick here at Mintridge. And the idea is that on Giving Tuesday, the virtual world that we're all in, we'll be launching Mintridge Advent Calendar. And each day, we will be opening the door to a different business. That might be, as I've mentioned before, it might be a retail partner that we work with that might help with Christmas shopping, but it might be a local business that is pledging their support in another way with a donation or with some equipment, or just with some time and skills such as some marketing expertise that somebody is donating their time for. So we just want to be able to showcase it. And the beauty of it is that we're going to gather all this momentum from Giving Tuesday, and then it can lead us right into Christmas as well. So yes, we're very excited about that. And at the moment, we are anticipating around £1,500 of income of pledged donations that we will be revealing either on the 1st or throughout the month. So we're just looking at getting as many businesses as we can behind this, and it's been really well received for the reasons that I've mentioned earlier, in that they can see a real benefit to them as well as being able to help a charity that they support as well. So I think they love the fact as well that we've got Work for Good on board, and we've partnered with them, and that we can just move the business over to Work for Good, and the fundraising experience is simplified for them. So that is where we hope to be, and I hope that number will be a little bit bigger at the end of December, but it's all thanks to the amazing momentum behind Giving Tuesday. So thank you very much for the opportunity, and I'd be delighted to talk to other charities and share the highs and lows that we've experienced from last year's campaign and throughout the pandemic as a whole as well. It'd be great to compare notes and see how everyone's doing. So thank you very much for the opportunity, everyone.
Thanks so much for that, Alex. It's really great to hear how, just with a little time and effort and thought, and actually not a lot of money behind it, that you can really make an impact and a success. And it's wonderful to hear businesses being engaged and willing to give back in lots of different ways again. So thank you. And now we'll hear from Phil on why your organisation should think about getting involved in Giving Tuesday.
Thanks, Grainne, and thanks everyone for joining, and thank you, Alex and Michael, for some great presentations and lots of food for thought there. My name is Philip Hunter. I'm an Associate Director at Porter Novelli, a global communications consultancy which helps clients of all sizes, both in the business sector and the third sector, grapple with a wide range of issues related to responsible business and purpose. We're a really proud supporter of Giving Tuesday in the UK and in the US, and we've been involved for a number of years. And whilst, as the other panellists have talked about, Giving Tuesday takes place in a very different world this year, we think it's a crucial moment in the calendar, both of the business world and, of course, for charities. I am conscious that, obviously, this is a moment of unprecedented uncertainty for the business and third sector communities. And you're all no doubt facing a myriad of different issues and difficult decisions on a daily basis. And being told to look at another area, which might be a core focus, is really tough ask right now. But we really think this is an important opportunity to pause, assess, and show support as well. Why? Because studies show that this is exactly what consumers and your customers and your supporters are craving right now. People feel more connected to brands and companies that align with social causes that fit their beliefs. A recent Porter Novelli study found that 88% of consumers actually buy based on these values, and they're also not shy about jumping ship when those values misalign. Further to that, some 80% also believe that companies must embrace the need to positively impact society as much as they focus on boosting their bottom lines. Authentically assisting organisations locally and globally is a business imperative that corporate leaders must embrace. And finally, UK adults want businesses to take a stand on a wide range of issues. In a recent UK study that we did, 78% of UK adults agreed that while a company can have one issue it stands for, I'm just going to move on the slide, can have one issue that they stand for, whether that's childhood hunger, advancing equality in tech, it doesn't mean that companies can ignore other important issues and causes, for example, addressing diversity, equity, inclusion in society, human rights. They want you to embrace the intersectionality of issues that in the past might have been tackled as standalone solutions. And Giving Tuesday, as a global and national campaign, is a perfect place to showcase those commitments. Henry Timms always says, Giving Tuesday is not the day to treat donors like cash machines. However, I would argue that this year, given the 10 billion funding gap that Grainne talked about before and that charities are facing, that perhaps this year it is the perfect day to ask your supporters, customers and stakeholders to give back. Charities, both those on the call and further afield, have worked so hard this year, supporting us, your families and our communities throughout this crisis. We all have or know someone who has used a charity at some point during this year. And that's why it's on all of us, each member of the business community and society as a whole, to get behind the charity sector's Giving Tuesday and play our part in protecting the future of the sector. And if we do this, we can show the organisations that are so important to society and that we're so proud of as a country, that although we might have closed doors this Christmas and it might feel very different, we don't have closed hearts. Thank you for that kind of quick look at some of the business case around it. And obviously, as other panellists have said, if you need any support or advice, please don't hesitate to get in touch. And with that, I'll just pass it to Grainne if you've got any closing remarks, and we'll move on to Q&A.
Thanks, Phil. Yeah, I mean, everything that Phil just said, but people want to see businesses, individuals giving back, and actually it's scientifically proven that giving makes us feel good. And I don't know if there's ever been a year when people need an opportunity and an action that can make us feel good at the end of a really difficult time. So I do think that while it can be a really difficult ask at a time like this to go out and ask people to give more when so many are in a difficult position, I think that if you frame it and you offer people lots of different ways to give, you will strike a chord with one of those. And Giving Tuesday is, again, as Phil said, is not just about this one day. It's an opportunity to celebrate what you have done, what you have achieved with your supporters and with your business partners. And it's a great way to kind of check in and say, look what we've achieved together and make plans for the future. A lot of people in the Giving Tuesday global community say that it's like your wedding anniversary. Your engagement and your relationships with your customers and your supporters take work all year round, but actually Giving Tuesday is a day when you can really celebrate what you've achieved together and and get ready for the next year ahead. So I do hope that you have got some important and useful information from today's presentations. And again, if there's any questions, all of our details are on the Giving Tuesday website, so please do feel free to reach out.
Cool, great. Thanks, Grainne. We do have a couple of questions coming in on chat for the panelists, and I'd like to encourage everyone who's watching this, wherever you are, to drop your questions in the chat box or in the Q&A function at the right-hand side of the screen. But we'll start the question for Grainne that's coming from Emily. As well as including local businesses and followers and existing supporters in Giving Tuesday, how can I engage major individual donors in the day, and what would your advice be around that?
I think as Alex said, it's using the networks that you have and taking advantage of what you potentially don't know you have. So if we know that match funding from an individual donor can really motivate other people to give. People feel that it's, they're doubling their donation. You don't know if your board member or, one of your other supporters might be in a position to do that. And that's the kind of the idea that we have around giving people different ways to support you. So, and also starting your communications early. So giving people time to actually consider what they're in a position to do and giving them the option or letting them know that you're open to this opportunity. And just being very open and public about what you want to achieve this Giving Tuesday and what you need to make it happen.
Great, thanks, Grainne. Alex, anything else to add on to that based on your experiences?
Yeah, I would say that it goes back to one of my very first points of there's a reason to ask, and that the supporter, whether a business or individual, they're part of something much bigger, and they can showcase that in any way that they want to. If they want to shout about it from the rooftops, then they can, and it can be part of Giving Tuesday, or they can do it anonymously. I think it just gives them, there's lots of different options, and there's that reason that isn't just a, will you support our charity? You can have because this is what's happening, and we want to be part of it.
And Michael, building that from a corporate standpoint as well, and you very kindly shared your email address in your presentation and encouraged charities to get in touch with you and your team. What things are you looking for as a corporate donor when those kind of requests and emails come through? What kind of things are standing out for you?
Yeah, so the way we work with charities is to give them a voice to our colleagues. So we have our internal workplace Facebook at Work platform, and so we will share some of the messaging from charities on that. When there's sufficiently strong themes coming through, we might actually turn that into a sort of proper intranet news story or series of articles. But what we're trying to do is talk to our colleagues in a way that expands their horizons as to what the charity sector is doing. And that's one of the great things that we try to do all year round, but Giving Tuesday is a brilliant day to amplify what's going on and have specific opportunities to, say, did you know that there's a charity here that's doing this? And it's tiny charities to the big charities that we're working with there. We don't have a grant funding scheme as part of NatWest Group. That's not a model we've implemented, so our focus is very much about empowering our employees and making it easy for them to give. But, that in itself doesn't then stop us being able to work with the charities to, as I say, amplify what they're trying to do and give them a voice to our colleagues.
Thank you, that's great. And then one follow-up question to you, Michael, as well, and you kind of touched on this in your presentation around, Giving Tuesday obviously feeds a huge amount of activity at NatWest. And obviously that means gets in alignment with a lot of different stakeholders internally, particularly on the marketing side of things, looking at the presentation. Is there any advice that you've got for businesses on the line around, I guess, how do you build the business case for Giving Tuesday internally and make sure you're getting everyone involved and behind it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, in any big organization, comm space is always at a premium. There are so many different messages that organizations want to get out to their staff. But I think, when you talk to most executives in the organisation, they do want colleagues and outside of the organisation, our customers and the broader public, they want them to know the good things that are happening and the great stuff that our colleagues are doing through volunteering and giving and fundraising. So I always take the view that at one level the business case is a no-brainer. It's we need to be able to talk about the great things we do. But what Giving Tuesday does is it gives us the platform against which we can do that. It adds exponentially to the business case to say that there's in so many countries, in so many different corporates and charities and individuals are getting behind this, and and that happens in a way that then doesn't diminish the voice of our company within that. That's the beauty of it. By the way we do it, we can amplify what we're doing, and it's amazing how you don't feel that you're getting lost in the noise. You still can have some great breakthrough, but it comes back to that planning. It's about having that good content, working with charities, working internally to have the good stories to share, and that voice to give. So yeah, I think to me that is the great thing about Giving Tuesday. It forces you to take stock of what you have been doing and what you plan to do, gives a voice to your colleagues and to the charities you work with, and then gives you that platform, that business case to get buy-in from your comms colleagues, from your marketing colleagues, and more broadly across the organisation. Giving Tuesday just makes it so much more obvious a thing to do because actually you're doing it as part of a global event.
Could I just jump in there? I know that that information that Michael provided is vitally important for businesses looking to get involved, but I also think it's really important for charities to understand the internal concerns or potential barriers that they may come up with when they're approaching a business to support them either around Giving Tuesday or at any other time of the year. I think it's really important to understand those internal tensions and actually be prepared to speak to them and to counter them and to bring examples of the likes of the NatWest Group and other businesses who've gotten involved and who genuinely really see a benefit to that. I think that's really important information for a charity to hold as well.
Alex, do you want to build any on that point at all?
Yeah, no, it's just again from following on from Michael, I definitely have danger of lots of ideas going around, let's showcase what we can do, let's offer this there, but actually being clear and concise in your messaging as the charity of what you're trying to achieve will enable the business to make those decisions, and actually giving them options and lots of different ideas rather than just saying, will you pledge such and such? Actually giving them ideas that puts the ball back into their court and allows them to give in the way that they're able to and they want to. And as Grainne said, it's still giving that feel-good factor. So clear and concise is something I need to work on as well, but definitely something to move forward with.
I think you've been very concise and very clear. I'm not seeing a huge amount of questions in the chat function or in the Q&A. Let's just have one more look. Oh, we've got a couple here. Let's have a look. 1 second. Just while I'm looking at these questions, I think this will be my final question to the three panelists. Is if there's one final piece of advice you want to give people at home around getting involved in Giving Tuesday in 2020, what would it be and why? Let's start with you, Grainne, and then go to Alex and then to Michael.
I think, as I said earlier, there has never been a year when we all need a reason to feel good about doing something, and actually feeling good about doing something that also helps other people is an incredible opportunity. And I don't think our charities have ever been in more need right now. And while, the pandemic and lockdown has been incredibly difficult, a lot of people have used it to discover new things about themselves, to take up running or to take up baking. And it's about thinking of what you have, the skills you have, the networks you have, and how you can use that to give back. And I think that's a really wonderful thing to be able to offer people that, as I said, makes them feel good, but also gives them an opportunity to help out. And I think that's really Giving Tuesday in a nutshell.
From my point of view, it's definitely around the community aspect and the fact that we're all in this together, and just ensuring that you're sensitive to how you're asking, and whether that's a business or an individual, or using it as a time for gratitude. I think it's a very dangerous place to be saying, can I have this, can I have this, can I have this? So ensuring you're sensitive around what you're delivering and how.
And for me, I think, keep it simple. It may sound when I was chatting before that we do Mathews, but this is our 7th year, and we started off and it was very simple. The first year we did it, it was just very much focused on employees, and then we've tried to build in it. And Giving Tuesday is really just a very simple concept. One day, focus on the brilliant things you're doing and encourage people to do more. So, if you've not participated in Giving Tuesday before, you don't feel that you need to suddenly throw everything at it. Start simple, start small, but just use your imagination to work out how you're going to engage with this. It's not a daunting thing to get involved in. It's just common sense, and don't think that you need to layer on complexity.
That's great, thank you. That's all fantastic advice for the panelists. I'm not seeing any questions in the Q&A function, apart from, will these sessions be recorded? And the answer is yes, it has been recorded, and they'll be available after this session, as I'm sure the slides will be as well. But I think from my side, I think all remains for me to say thank you to you all for taking part in this presentation, and thanks everyone for joining. And I'll pass to Grainne for any final words, and then we will close up, give people a few minutes back. I know time is a gift at the moment, when everyone's on video calls all day. So for me, that's everything. And back to you, Grainne, to close.
A question has just quickly come in there on the chat, so I'm just going to quickly answer that one, and then I'll close up. And so it's a very small charity, micro-size. They don't have any sports personalities or famous people. And what tips would we give a micro charity? It's the same that we're giving to people. Think about what you do have. I think Alex mentioned it in her presentation, and Porter Novelli hosted them last year at our launch event. We have a partner called Tiny Tickers. They're a really tiny charity. They have, I think, one full-time member of staff who's their chief executive, and a number of part-time members of staff. They also have a really niche cause area, so they work to detect congenital heart defects in newborn babies. So a very kind of small niche area of work. But what they do have is a really dedicated, committed and engaged group of supporters. And what they did is they used those supporters to share their message and to get their campaign out there. And what they did was they wanted to raise enough funds to buy a pulse oximetry machine, which is the machines that are used to detect these heart defects. They're not available on the NHS, but Tiny Tickers raises the money, they buy the machines, and then they send them out to hospitals right across the country. They just absolutely lived the campaign that day. They had a video showing what the machines looked like, explaining how they worked. They shared incredible, heartwarming stories about people whose children had been saved through the use of one of these machines. Their chief executive had a question and answer session and also shared personal stories as well. They had a target, so £725, super simple. And what they actually achieved on the day was incredible. They raised £4,500. They were able to buy 6 machines, and that meant that 9,000 babies were going to be tested every year because of that. So you don't need, while it's incredible when you do have sports personalities and Olympians and celebrity ambassadors and massive corporate partners, you don't need that. But you do need to think about what you have yourself and how you can make the most out of that. And that can just be your supporters, but you need to engage them. They need to feel that there is value to what you're asking them. If it's sharing their message, you need to explain to them why it's important and share the impact of what they're doing for your organisation. So I hope that helped. And I just want to say thank you again to all of our panellists, to Philip, to Michael and to Alex for taking the time. It really is, well, I don't think Giving Tuesday would be where it is today without the support of partners like you. And while CAS lead it here in the UK, we absolutely don't own it. It is owned by all of our partners who get involved. And it really is your energy, your enthusiasm and your commitment that makes the day a huge success. So I hope you have, you've got some really useful information and you feel engaged and enthusiastic about getting involved in Giving Tuesday. As I said, lots of free resources on the website. Our contact details are there. So if you have any questions in the future, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Thank you.